Here are your hosts.
Your hosts for this evening, Shaggy.
Funny. Ha-ha. Not funny.
Colin.
It's going rogue left and right, man.
And Mike, the Ape Man.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
PTR Radio.
You ready to kick ass?
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb.
Yes. It's a Monday. We're on time.
It's a Monday, and we're live, and it's a regular show. And we're here on just Facebook because I didn't get the update installed on time, so we're not simulcasting on Twitch. Everything is operating as normal with regular technical issues right up to the time when we decided to go live. I mean, it couldn't be a more normal show, really.
Yeah. By the way, you are correct. That camera is much better.
Oh, yeah. It's night and day. I decided, hey, we don't need the room shot because we haven't ever used it. So instead, I'm going to take the really nice camera, and I'm not going to look like... I'm only going to look like I have normal rosacea, not like super virus rosacea anymore. So yeah, back to our regularly scheduled camera appearance, which is much better. And Mike looks like he's HD. He's a little jittery, but he's HD. So, you know, we're doing well.
The irony is, the only thing I did different is I'm using Firefox instead of Chrome.
Oh, well. When we see you crisp and clear and perfect, and you go a little Max Headroom-ish, but otherwise it's perfect.
We can live with Max Headroom-ish.
Yes. So
That was a good show.
You know, I haven't gotten that one down yet. That's one maybe I should do. I should find the online archives, you know, through whatever provider it is. Which, by the way, it looks like I'm going to have to buy Disney Plus because I missed out on all the sale opportunities, and it's going to be coming live soon now. You know, they only been saying for the last 6 months, hey, buy this deal, get this deal. It's going to be cheaper, get this. And I said, hey, I should do that, and then continued to not do that.
Well, at least that way you don't have to pay for 3 years at once. You can just...
Yeah, 3 years at once for the price of 1 year. Yeah, that's a real quality thing that I messed up on. So, anyway, it is a normal episode to this evening. And as a normal episode, our stream seems to have just taken a crap for a second. And now maybe we're back. So, I had the little flashing yellow orangey thing, and now we're back, and who knows? I'm just going to throw my hands up and say, hey, if we're streaming, great. If not, at least we're recording so that someday, eventually, when I get around to posting all the archives of all these episodes, we will finally be caught up on the podcast. I have only gotten a ton of email from people going, hey, when are you going to get caught up on the podcast? And I said, I'm going to do it this weekend. And the weekend never happens.
In case you're wondering, I'm trying to test the delay on the Facebook stream.
Yes. It's the universal signal for delay is devil horns.
All right. Yeah,
Everybody knows that. I mean,
or at least we're still live on Facebook, but there is a hell of a delay happening.
If you don't know that, I don't know what's going wrong with you today. So later on in the show, we will have our double feature movie review. As always, that is the last half hour of the show. And so we hope that you will be getting, your thoughts in mind for Earthstorm and Treasure Guard. I know Mike is, just from a brief, interaction, I know he is so looking forward to Earthstorm's review.
I will say in advance, I am so happy to know that Earthstorm exists for reasons that I will get into later.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, that's coming later on in the show. But right now, I think it's time that we put the fun in funeral. Now, Mike, let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about how you could make your own funeral more entertaining?
Well, yeah, I have. And then I realized that the people that that are probably going to come to my funeral are probably just the ones that are looking for the free luncheon. So I really don't want to entertain them.
I mean, Colin, have you thought about it? How you can spice up your funeral and make it something, exciting? Are you going to be one of those people whose ashes get shot into space?
Oh, I would love that, but I have no interest in my own funeral.
You don't? You don't care how you're going to be,
Throw me in the fire and, I don't know, do something. I don't care.
Viking funeral pyre, Mike. We're deciding it right now. That's what Colin's
Okay. I am all in for that.
That's that. I think that's the only thing that we can do. In Ireland, Mike, can you imagine that the funerals probably have a little bit more levity when they're performed in Ireland?
If by levity you mean a higher blood alcohol content, I 100% agree.
So, a father was being buried, and as they were lowering the coffin into the grave, okay, here are the events that transpired. Hopefully you can hear that, Mike. Doesn't get any more classic than this.
Hello? 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 Let me out! Where the f***? Hello? Hello? Let me out! The f***ing dark in here! Who the f*** am I? Is that priest I can hear? Let me out! Hello! Hello! Stop the mask! Stop, I can hear you! Hello! Hello! Please! Hello!
Yes. So what you're hearing is sounds coming from the coffin. Evidently, the dad was quite the prankster, and decided.
Evidently, they don't have The Walking Dead in Scotland.
So,
because I guarantee you, if I did that at my funeral, somebody would be jumping on that thing, pulling a knife out, screaming "zombie," and start stabbing at my coffin to make sure I don't come back.
It was hilarious. Let me out. It's effing dark in here. Is that the priest I hear out there? I hear you all laughing. Let me out. Now, I'm sure we can probably all think of someone who would do this.
I'd be more interested with, I'd probably more likely to have like lines from Monty Python. I'm not dead yet.
I'm not quite dead yet.
I feel happy.
I was thinking myself, because I'm going for cremation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I want to put a light sensor and recording on the bottom of the lid. So the one time somebody opens the lid to look inside, it goes, "Hey, close the door." I just think it would be good.
If I had to do something like this, I truly don't know. Like, I would want to call somebody specific out, like something to the effect of, hey, there's that $20 you owe me. Don't think I'm not going to come collect. Halloween's right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I heard this on the radio, and I thought, this is entertaining. This is a way to put the fun in funeral. Really. I can't think of anybody. I can think of a lot of people who would say they would do this, but nobody who would actually do this. Because the first time you hear that, Mike, I think you're right. I think the initial response is, "Oh my God, he's really alive! Quick, somebody open it!" But then the rational mind has to kick in and go, "Wait a second, he's been embalmed."
Yeah, nobody wants to be that guy who's like, "You heard that, right?" Everybody's looking around thinking, I'm the one being haunted, until you make eyes with somebody that actually heard it. And then you're like, okay, something's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but something's going on.
Yeah. And in Ireland, you think, well, I just drank too much before this funeral,
I don't know if any Irish has ever thought that.
Just a quick research on the Disney Plus thing.
Uh-huh.
I discovered the ultimate deal.
Okay.
And that is, so if you had purchased the 3 years in advance,
Mm-hmm.
and you have Verizon,
Mm-hmm.
and Verizon's giving away a free year,
Mm-hmm.
apparently, if you put the two together, then it pauses the 3 years you bought for a year.
Oh.
So you end up with 4 years of Disney Plus.
Nah.
Almost makes me wish I had Verizon, but not quite.
Yeah. No. So. So I just thought we needed to open with a bit of levity, about that. Now, Mike, speaking of levity, you sent a note today looking at our Facebook page because you looked at our Facebook page and then the other suggested groups based on you liking that page. And I thought, when you sent that, I thought, wow, we have a really wide reach if that's who it's suggesting that you follow. Not to say there's anything wrong. No, first of all, we're going to get right out there and say there's no opinions drawn about anything on these groups. Okay.
Let's also say that this is Facebook's algorithm determining based on, and I do not know if this would be the same that would show up for you.
I can tell you right now,
you went and looked at the page.
It's not. It's not, because I just pulled up the page, and so it does change for me. Okay, so what we're interested in is if you go to our website, or if you go to our Facebook page, our fan page, all right, the suggested groups to the upper right-hand corner, all right underneath where it says play a game, we're looking for what are the suggested groups that it gives you for being a member of PTR Radio. All right, so for being a fan of PTR Radio. So, Mike, for you, at the time when you sent the original list, because it may have changed since then, all right, who were the original groups that it thought you needed to add?
This is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Florida, this is like this is 3 layers of ridiculousness piled on in one group. Mm-hmm. Florida, LGBTQ plus, Democratic something.
Yeah.
So I've got politics, I've got sexuality, and I've got Florida man all rolled into one.
Yes.
So that we're starting off with a nope. Wantagh Dog Park. Okay, I have no idea where, but whatever. Inclusive, progressive. Yeah, no, I'm out because the picture is them doing yoga or some shit on the beach. I'm out.
Mike is not about inclusivity.
Nashville, Music City, something. Okay, that's fine. But it seems like there's a lot of traffic. That's the busiest of the 5 that were recommended. There's 2,300 members, and there's 70 posts a day in that group. That's too much for me.
Yeah.
And the last one, Sammy Hagar's Beach Bar, something. I don't know what, but I'm in.
It's Beach Bar Rum is what it is.
Okay.
Because interestingly enough, our bottom 2 actually match. So Nashville Music City Rocks is 2,400 members. Mine says 70 posts a day. Now, what's interesting is the last one, Sammy Hagar's Beach Bar Rum. Now, they must have had a big surge in posting after you grabbed this screen capture because now it says 11,000 members, 60 posts a week. Now, last time I checked, 3 times 7 is 21, not 60.
So you're using old math, not Common Core.
Yeah. So, but our first 3 are different. So, because I'm here in Central Illinois, I get Springfield area B-Tech Cycling Group as my first recommendation. I get Springfield, Illinois area cycling, which neither of which I don't bicycle. I don't even own a bicycle. And then I get the Aquafest official fan page. Now, looking at the Aquafest official fan page, they are great space for getting travel information and staying in touch with people you want to just share photos and videos with. Now, I thought it was something different because it had a pair of rainbow Speedos in their picture, but not quite. But it is an interesting group.
Yeah, so, I can't figure out how to see mine.
So you just click on our page.
Yeah.
Okay, right there.
Is Colin an admin on our page?
And if you scroll down, okay, so
Yeah, I'm seeing all the admin stuff.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, Colin is an admin, but so am I, and so are you. It's weird. It doesn't show his.
Yep.
But anyway, so that's the recommended groups for at least you and I. And, boy, those are some interesting groups that we could follow if we were so inclined. So, you know. And there's nothing, like we said, there's nothing wrong with those groups. It's just not the groups that we would typically follow. So it would be fun to see what other people are seeing as recommendations because they follow us. Which I would hope that they would be able to post, and we would be able to relay. But that is a little bit more cumbersome right now because something isn't the toy that Mike uses to post your comments isn't exactly working.
Well,
imagine that. It is a regular show, folks. Like I said, we're back to normal.
Well, it came up.
Yeah, it comes up, but I'm not getting Facebook messages into it. Just Twitter.
But did you test Facebook or you? Because I didn't see anything on the stream either. But.
There's no comments on the stream? It says we're live now, but we have. I don't know who's watching. Nobody could be watching because half of our audience is consumed with medical issues. Over half of our audience is consumed with medical issues. And so they may be busy with other things. You just never know. But yeah, so I don't know. I need to upgrade that version so that we're running on the beta code. Because beta code's usually much more stable than real code. Why would real code be stable? We don't need real code. We need beta code. So anyway, so that's kind of what's going on with us and the interesting stuff. Now, Mike, one of the things that went on with me lately was I did a honor flight reunion, which if you're not familiar with the honor flight, what it does is it takes veterans of basically all the branches of the service. And I think right now they're serving at least in our area, they're serving the Vietnam veterans. And takes them on a whirlwind 24-hour trip of the Washington, D.C. monuments. Which is, it's a long, long day for some of these guys. You take guys that are 70, 80 years old, and you put them on a plane at 4 a.m., and then you bring them back at midnight. I mean, that's a long day for some of these guys, but it's a great event. It's a great thing, and what we do is we do a reunion for them. So the organization, the volunteers, in this case, we had 190 people show up that had been on the various flights, and they came in and they got to see a nice program, and then they got to have some pie and some coffee, which is where me and my family were involved, as we gave coffee. And so it was nice to have everybody in, but boy, that took an entire afternoon, but it's nice to have these guys in who otherwise don't have much to do. What was crazy was, so the program started at 2. People started showing up at like 12:30 because these guys don't have anything else to do. They look forward to this every 6 months. Yeah. And they come early. And they like to stay late because, it's just time for them to sit around and tell stories. And that's what old people love to do.
Yeah.
So that was the majority of my weekend, although it was sprinkled with a bunch of side jobs and stuff like that. And then last night, I finally started watching the movies at like 9 o'clock at night.
I was sitting there yesterday, or either yesterday or Saturday, I don't remember, but I remember sitting at the computer looking at the thing going, oh, bitch, I still got to watch a movie before Monday night. When the hell am I going to watch this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Time just got away from me, man.
It's kind of amazing the older that you get, the less time that you have,
I usually try to watch them the Sunday before because that way they're still in my mind and I can talk about them and not forget them.
Yep. So let's get back to what we were talking about. Mike, when we were first planning the show, one of the first things that you posted was an article from TMZ. Looks like maybe Hooters might be in a little bit of legal trouble.
Yeah, this is interesting as hell, and I had to double check and make sure it wasn't one of our former network mates that was filing this lawsuit. But apparently, Hooters is being sued by a legally blind man. I could end that story right there, or that headline right there, and you could laugh about this. Like, he's legally blind. Does he really know what he's missing? There's plenty of jokes we can make. However, he's suing because they are not selling Braille gift cards. And you had a very interesting response.
Yeah.
Who does?
Yeah, I can't think of a single company that actually sells Braille gift cards.
Now, and what's supposed to be on them in Braille?
I would assume
the name of the company?
the amount.
You can't, because a lot of those cards are reloadable. So there's no real easy way to know how much money is on them.
Yeah, or I suppose it could be the place that they're too. Because, I mean, a lot of them are flat, so you don't know where they're redeemable at. I could kind of maybe see a point for that.
Yeah, but nothing has, I mean, are there Braille credit cards? I don't know.
I would assume the major credit card companies would. Well, but you have raised letters on credit cards.
Not on all of them, though.
I guess that's true. Like the Apple credit card, right? Because don't you have that, Colin?
Yeah.
Right. There is no texture to that card at all, right?
Your name is engraved on it. See, the great thing about an Apple credit card is I can actually pull it out of my wallet and hold it up and not worry about someone stealing a number because there's no numbers on it.
Right.
But I guess you can sort of read with your finger the Goldman Sachs, up here in the corner, and then there's your name.
So, according to this, Starbucks actually has Braille gift cards. But they're the only store, national chain, that currently offers them.
Here you
Walgreens,
go.
CVS, Target, they don't. He
Disney
also filed suit against Domino's.
Disney Store has also been hit with an ADA lawsuit over Braille gift cards. Colin, the Motherland has been hit with Braille gift card lawsuit. Krispy Kreme says, in a class action lawsuit, says gift cards should be offered with Braille to make them accessible.
Okay, and for the record now, I'm actually a little angry because there's a link on here that says Hooters hotties through the years, and I figured it'd be showing us celebrities that were Hooters girls, and no, it's just random
pictures.
Hooters girls.
Again, I mean, Domino's recently got hit, and they lost that their website needed to be accessible under the ADA.
That's a huge thing. A lot of companies do not realize that they are required by federal law to be accessible.
Yep.
As working for a government entity myself, I know how important accessibility is, and how much time people with disabilities have to complain. Mike, I think we can both agree that is one of their favorite pastimes, is to complain.
Yeah.
And that's, it's their right to complain. They are being, denied service equally as a, abled person.
Okay,
I don't know how else to say that.
At the same time, when we were at Hooters with a bunch of these aforementioned disabled folks.
Yeah.
And one of those disabled folks got pulled up to do the hokey pokey with every Hooters girl in the joint and stood there like a deer in the headlights.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas any of us sighted folks would have gladly partaken.
Well, don't forget the liberties that they were able.
ADA.
Don't forget the liberties they were able to maintain. I specifically remember a few of them playing Tune in Tokyo because of their particular situation.
Yeah, okay. Yes, that is correct. And, it's okay, he's blind. What?
What? I can throw on a pair of sunglasses.
He knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah. He's blind. He's not stupid. I completely agree.
Smell the boob sweat. And that's what he zoomed in on.
Yeah.
Like sonar.
So, I mean, it's not... they do have some advantages. They don't advertise them, obviously, but,
Yeah.
Of course not. How many times did... I remember he used to have to go and print out his homework in the office, and he would show up with reports, his essays, with 3 sheets of blank computer paper.
Yeah.
Damon, these are blank. Oh, it sounded like it was printing. I guess that must have been out of ink. Thing's been out of ink for 3 months.
Yeah.
Did you tell anybody? Anybody tell anybody to fix it?
Not only that, but I mean, we went out of our way to accommodate some of those people. I mean, hell, we sent Braille Bibles to their house. And did they get any more church in them? No. What did we get for our efforts? We got complaints.
Agita.
I mean, cases of Braille Bibles delivered to their homes, free of charge. And all we got was complaints and arguments. You know, I don't know what they expect from us.
But my dad is angry. He doesn't know where we're gonna put all this shit. Your dad is not angry. I just talked to him outside. We had a cigarette. He thinks it's funny as hell. He ain't angry. He even said you need Jesus in your life.
And here he is in the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Torah, the Quran, everything we can think of. Church of Latter-day Saints. You name it. Spaghetti, the International Brotherhood of Spaghetti Hood Monster. You know, we said it all because we weren't quite sure what he would appreciate. So we want to make sure we had our religious bases covered. Mm-hmm. And people, yes, you can do that. You know. Denial of its products and services offered, thereby and in conjunction with its physical location is what they're saying. Is you know, Disney did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
See, the problem is that ADA just is a reasonable.
No, it's not a reasonable accommodation.
No, it depends on the particular accommodation they're talking about. So, for example, with Domino's, there is no reasonable accommodation. The website either works or it doesn't.
Well, I will actually tell you what some of the new laws have come down to, and I don't know that a lot of people know this or not, but at least I know for the state of Illinois now, okay, for, say, internal training, okay, if we're to perform training for our own employees, you can no longer ask if they require interpreter services. So if you need to have closed captioning or sign language interpreter or anything else, you must assume that those are needed regardless of audience, because you're not by law allowed to ask, and have them there at your expense regardless of audience. Even for internal training where you have a set audience. That is the law for the state of Illinois, and as I understand it, is also the law for most federal agencies. Is all internal resources, all external resources, everything regarding their services from a public perspective and from a private employee perspective must be open, transparent, and available to all employees regardless of their physical restrictions without querying about those needs.
Yeah.
Because it's insensitive to ask if somebody needs something.
Interesting.
Yeah. Doesn't happen.
It doesn't, but boy, could we get in trouble if somebody actually made a case for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're actually, we are past the sunset now where all previous training was, because we had a grace period where we were supposed to be able to adjust all previous training. Mm-hmm. We're now past that point, so all previous training should have been made accessible by now.
Interesting.
Speaking,
what does that mean for a training from outside vendors?
They must apply to the same standards. So now, in a similar realm, I think, Mike, you and I started trading stories a little bit back and forth about inclusivity in sports and the changing landscape that's going on there. Okay,
yeah,
now
forget landscape. These guys, they're just booting the goddamn mountain.
Now, before we get into this, let's first set the table here that we are not saying that that it's not okay for these people to be who they are. Okay, we're not saying there's anything wrong with their lifestyle, with their life choices. Right, Mike? Am I right in that?
Sure.
Okay. As a show perspective, we may all have our individual opinions about it, but we're not saying as a show that we have anything wrong with what they represent as a person. You know, but recently, Mike, you posted an article from the Daily Mail about a transgendered female who was named the NCAA Conference Female Athlete of the Week. and there is a question about whether that should be allowed because, in fact, not born female.
Yes, I had that conversation that, yes.
And this is a highly charged conversation, so
Yeah.
understand that when you're listening to this, it's a highly charged conversation. We're not going to say that we're right or wrong. Your opinion may vary. We're just going to give you kind of our thoughts on what we've read about it.
I do have to throw out there, because this is something that did not cross my mind earlier, but I believe that this is less of an impact in something like cross-country running compared to a sport like, I'm going to say, wrestling or powerlifting.
Yes.
See, because I followed your article up about cross-country running with a world championship title that was given in Manchester to a transgender athlete named Rachel McKinnon, who was, again, it's a transgender female, so born male, transitioned to transgender female, who is now crowned the world championship female cyclist.
Yeah.
So, and in both these, I think it's a little bit similar, because I think what we have here is a question about muscle mass, muscle density, capabilities.
It comes down to why this is not. I've changed genders to be female instead of male, so I should be able to wear a dress and wear pink, and no one should make fun of me for that.
Yeah,
and everybody should understand that. That's one thing,
mm-hmm.
but that's not why there's men and women's sports in the first place.
Yeah, it's for disparity in physical capabilities.
Right, because there is no way in most sports to have
parity.
I was going to say co-ed. I was trying to find the right. Anyway, to have both genders in the same sport and have it fair without, all the winners always being men. There's some sports like curling where you can, but it's different.
Yes, but even curling, they separate into men and women.
Right, but they do mixed doubles.
Yeah, the only sport that I am aware of, and mixed doubles, that's different, because the rules state you have to have X number of each gender on your team,
it's
or
one of
a
each.
minimum of, right?
Yeah.
But the only Olympic sport that men and women compete against each other in the same division are the equestrian events.
Mm-hmm.
Because the horse is doing all the work.
Right.
Essentially. All the physical work. So that's a whole different part of the equation. But, endurance, and I don't want to say that men run better than women and what have you. What I'm saying is endurance type sports, I believe it's less of an impact than physical strength type sports. Now, if you had a female transition to a male and tried to compete, I don't know what the reaction to that would be. It seems like all of the issues that I've come across are men transitioning into women and competing.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
because honestly, they're excelling in those sports, whereas women transitioning to men have a much harder time competing at a high level of competition.
And a lot of times they may not even be allowed to compete, because I believe part of the hormone therapy would throw their testosterone through the roof.
Exactly. And that's one of the questions about the male to female, is that one of the qualifiers, at least for the cycling one of the big things that was brought up was testosterone levels, right? Mm-hmm. So the person who McKinnon, who won the world championship, tested lower for testosterone levels than most of the female competitors. But that does nothing to affect the muscle density that is just there from natural biology.
The muscle density can change. The problem is that cycling is a game of leverage. And it's more about the geometry of the body than it is anything else. And there's no drugs you can take that are going to change the basic geometry of the male body and the male hips versus female hips. So for cycling, just testosterone is not a good enough indicator.
Right. And that's what they're saying. They're basically saying, hey, this isn't enough of a test to say they're operating at the same level as females. It's a level play, because what they're saying is, hey, we don't want to necessarily exclude transgender athletes. We just want to make sure that the playing field is level when we do this. You know, and that's all we're trying to say is we're trying to say, listen, right now you have to admit the playing field is not level because we don't have a way to do this. Now, there was a movie. Always bring it back to a movie, right? There was a movie out there, and I can't remember what the name of it was. I think we might have watched it for a movie review.
So help me God, if you go Ladybugs, I'm going to be very upset.
No, not Ladybugs. No. There was a movie about a wrestling on a space station, okay, where a human competitor was pitted against a series of alien competitors, and they had a system where there were these different colored lights that would come down and would penalize the opposite competitor to basically to normalize the strength, basically, right, between the two competitors. It was the same thing as a handicap in bowling, per se, right? So I can't remember what the name of this movie was, but somebody out there is going to comment later on in the Facebook feed and tell me what it was, because I can't for the life of me remember. The Arena is what it was called. Man versus Monster. Steve Armstrong, the first human in 50 years to compete in an intergalactic boxing sport. It's called simply The Arena. 1989 film. So if we had a methodology to do that, then this wouldn't be a question. By the way, I think I should be able to find this somehow and put this on our movie list if we haven't watched it already. 'Cause this is if you liked Flash Gordon, all right, this is Flash Gordon era.
I was going to say, this don't sound familiar, but
this is Flash Gordon era at its best. It had who was Hamilton Camp and I'm trying to remember the other Armin Shimmerman.
idea.
Yeah, it had some good stuff in it. So anyway, so that's what I was talking about. So what do you guys think? I've been doing a lot of talking. What do you guys think?
So I think, going back to these stories, we have these people being quoted in the story saying, our research has also proven, they've proven many things, and that there's no research to show that this has any effect on competition. So I'm looking at that going, okay, so, here it is. There's no evidence that transgender women have a sporting advantage over athletes born female. So, okay, so what happens if we get that evidence?
Yeah, do they strip titles?
Yeah, what do you mean?
I mean, because that's what we do in like the Tour de France when we suddenly detect, doping.
Yeah,
is we start to revert to previous, finishers.
And what happens if we have the Olympics and a disproportionate proportion of gold medals are being won in women's sports by
transgender females?
By transgender females, yes.
So and
it's an interesting spot.
You don't want it to create yet another category for sports. You don't want to create men's, women's, transgender female, transgender males.
No.
Right? You don't want it to do that because that just separates and divides us further. But you have to do something. And I'm not saying that we know what it is.
No.
But you have to do something.
We're saying that there may still be something to happen in the future.
Because the last thing you want to do is say, well, they're separate but equal. No, I don't want to say that. No. Because no. No, that was the 40s and 50s. No, we don't want to say those things anymore. That's bad. And you need to get out of that mindset.
But maybe the sports are going to have to be recategorized as not being women's events and men's events. but on a per sport basis, some other physical criteria will need to be met. Just like with boxing.
Yeah, where they have weight classes.
They have different weight classes. So
Yeah.
Or just get rid of all the physically aggressive, overly alpha male sports anyway, and just go to purely intellectual.
Yeah,
See,
right.
you just want to get rid of sports because then your cable bill will be cut in half.
Hey, I'm all for it. All right, get rid of football. All right, I'm good for it.
Good for it.
I'm good with
What
it.
are you going to give us for getting rid of football if you're going to be good for it?
I will give you championship chess.
I was going to say, don't you dare say like League of Legends or any shit like that, because
I will give you a real American Gladiators. All right? Reboot American Gladiator. I've had enough of American Ninja Warrior. All right? It's the same people competing every year. Whatever. No, bring back Laser and Taser and Blazer and Glazer. All right? Bring back those people and give us back American Gladiators, and Terry Crews better be in charge of it. All right? That's what I want.
Glazer. That's just...
Well,
Sorry.
He went on to do porno, and he changed his name slightly.
No, Glazer was killed by Syndrome in The Incredibles.
So that's our deep dive on transgender dynamics in America.
And I'm sorry, if we did do American Gladiators,
Yeah.
I brought all those people back.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really, really easy to beat them. I mean, just be like you'd be standing there with the pole, and they'd be in their wheelchair.
I'm saying do it like the Harlem Globetrotters do. Okay, it's a different person, but it's the same name.
Okay.
it's like Menudo.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be more like WWE, where they just,
Where it's all scripted and it's a soap opera.
have them be like the WWE, but it'd be like they just come in and they go and become big movie stars, but every so often they come back to knock around people in the arena.
Oh my goodness, who was the guy who's in the John Cena is trying to become the next Rock, I think, because he's now in another movie trying to make it big. In that, what the firefighter or
That's
Playing
a
with
comedy.
Fire or whatever. I know, but that's The Rock does comedies. Okay, leave it to The Rock; he does a good job. Give it to him and the drunk driver, and they'll make a good movie. All right. Don't you know?
But no, there's just such a long history of WWE wrestlers doing movies. Some of them are good,
I know,
like The Rock.
and then you have Hulk Hogan in The Nanny.
Yeah, I was going to go with The Nanny. I was going to go with
No holds
pretty
barred.
much any other. No, the one where he's the alien.
The one where Hulk Hogan is the alien.
It wasn't he the alien? That someone was going to attack him, and he's like, "I'm going to have a fight now. No, I'm going to sue you." Was that he the alien? That one?
Like illegal alien, like undocumented resident alien, or suburban commando. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking of. And then there was that TV show with the boat that lasted like 3 episodes.
Thunder
Anyway.
in Paradise.
Yes.
That I remember. I don't know why.
I can honestly say I've never watched Suburban Commando. I think I
I
watched.
don't know if I've watched
the
all
Nanny
of Suburban
ones.
Commando, but
No.
But no, I mean, The Rock is definitely the best wrestler gone to Hollywood. Second place is Andre the Giant.
Because he was in one movie?
He only that is one of the only movies that matters.
What about the Bushwhacker Twins movie? What the heck was that called anyway? Because it wasn't called Family Matters. I know that. All right. But I can't remember what movie the Bushwhackers played long haul truckers. Who had to protect like this teenage girl who invented this machine that could like manipulate traffic signals and stuff. But it was somewhere in there. I know.
Okay, it wasn't the Bushwhacker Brothers. Now I know. Lucky, treat 'em good. Rabbit, knock on wood. Rockaroo and Tug McGraw, start 'em up. Kumbaya. Right?
Yeah. Who was that?
Crack.
Lucky, knock on wood movie. Think big. And it was. Boy, it's pretty sad when we just put in that much and it knows who it was. All they had was strength, determination, and a lucky chicken bone. Brains aren't everything. Oh, my goodness. The Barbarian Brothers is who it was. Okay, I'm adding that one to my list now. These are movies that will never get added. So, yeah. It'll go, what? No, it's not possible. These don't exist anymore. Sorry. You know.
I see you've got everything set up now.
Well, kind of. So, yeah.
I cannot believe I remembered it.
I can't believe you remember that. I can't remember you remembered their motto. That is crazy.
They did that chant when their truck wouldn't start.
Oh, jeez.
It was a magic chant. They had the headdress and the lucky chicken bone, and they did the whole dance thing to get the truck to start.
Oh. If you grew up always knowing what a cell phone was, this isn't the show for you.
No.
All right, let's just say it that way.
I grew up always knowing what a cell phone was. I saw it on Star Trek.
No, that was a communicator. They were different.
Same idea.
So,
literally.
Oh, man. All right, so now that we have tackled transgenderism, let's
talk about abortion.
Let's talk about another group that we love to discuss, vegans.
Oh, good. Yes. No. We probably shouldn't, but we're gonna.
Well, we're going to. All right. Now, Mike wrote an article.
No.
For The Guardian.
Yeah, because I traveled over to the UK.
But you don't have to be in the UK to submit an article, Mike. It's called the Internet. Under the pseudonym George Reynolds.
The Internet is coming to get us.
So, saying from the hunger strike to the edible projectile, history offers abundant examples of food being used for political ends. Even so, the crowd of vegans who gathered in central London earlier this year are unlikely to forget the moment when Goddess Lagnus skinned and ate a raw squirrel. So what was Dave doing over in London anyway?
Well, afraid I don't have an answer for that one.
But so in this case, this wasn't the first time that it had happened. Him, along with his co-conspirator, had performed the stunt a week at the weekly Soho Vegan Market on Rupert Street, and would subsequently demonstrate at Veg Fest in Brighton. Although that time his snack of choice was a raw pig's head. In a self-proclaimed carnivore tour intended to highlight the evils of a plant-based diet. At the London event, he wore a black vest emblazoned with the slogan, "Veganism equals malnutrition." Now, we all know those people, the militant, veg heads who think that meat is murder, and,
yes.
we all know those people.
I know them. I know the vegans and the pescatarians that don't judge people like me who eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I know the vegans who judge me because I eat meat and dare say that I don't love animals.
Without knowing you.
And those are the vegans that I want to smash. Those are the vegans I wish would fall into the sausage press at the Alpo factory. But no, that's not true. I don't wish murder on anybody. I don't wish death on anybody, even the vegans. But
if one of their friends happens to give them a real chicken nugget, we are not going to say that person should be prosecuted to the nth degree of the law.
No.
So, my sister is this way, right? So she is one of those. I don't eat meat. I like my tofu. I want my I want a tofurkey for Thanksgiving and Christmas. You go
to hell.
That's what she says. That's not what I say. All right. She's like, I don't want my kids to eat meat. Meanwhile, they go to Grandpa and Grandma's or my house and they come and pig out on ham and steak and lasagna with meat in it and whatever else we can get down their throats because they love it. And they eat the hummus at her house, but then they'll come here and they'll enjoy, the queso dip, or they'll enjoy the chili con carne, or whatever. So, my sister is this way. Right.
I will say hummus is a wonderful thing, but that's...
No, you just get out. All right. Yeah, then there's no place in this house for hummus. Hummus has no home here.
Hummus is what you need for pita chips.
No.
That's the point of pita chips.
What you need for pita chips is goat sliced.
That's for pita, not for pita chips.
No, you put it on the chip.
That's the gyro.
Yes, you need
gyro.
You need the gyro. Yeah, that's what you need.
No, I'm with Colin. Hummus is a good alternative dip to have. I will eat hummus. If you have hummus next to onion dip or salsa, am I going to go for the hummus? Probably not. Probably not. If you put the hummus next to buffalo chicken dip, am I going for the hummus? Absolutely not. I will throw the hummus to make room for more buffalo chicken dip.
I might mix the two together just to see what happens.
But okay, now I gotta go. No, now you gotta get out.
I'm not saying I'm going to put both of them in the same bowl, but I might take a chip and dip it in both just to see.
Now you're contaminating one with the other.
No,
You
will take a spoon and put them on a plate so that you do not contaminate.
Yeah, exactly.
No cross contamination.
Unless I do the buffalo chicken dip first and then go into the hummus, because who cares about the hummus?
Yeah, but then you're going to piss off all the vegans that need to eat the hummus.
Well, I don't have any vegans I need to worry about.
Okay.
It's my bowl of hummus. I do whatever I want with it.
I mean, I had the same issue with guacamole for the longest time. Don't bring guacamole anywhere near me. I don't want that guacacaca anywhere near my house. And I tried it once, and okay, it's allowed. Allowed now.
The article goes on to say cultish initiatives like Vegan January, an annual campaign encouraging people to go meat-free for the first month of the year, launched in 2014. No, And
I never heard of that. I've heard of Veggie Mondays.
And Meat-Free Mondays tap into this spirit, moving away from the wholesome dietary transformation and toward something manageably sporadic, with the added gloss of being able to share, that is, brag about the experience online. Because that is what vegans do.
If you're talking from a culinary perspective, for health reasons you decided to eat vegan, that's one thing. Where it's stupid, unfortunately, I'm going to call out your sister on this stupidity. Fake vegans who want to tofurkey are not vegans.
Well,
they're just fooling themselves.
Well, and they're not, and they really are, a lot of them, eating an unhealthy diet.
Yes.
If you are not doing it correctly, it's like, honestly, when I did what I thought was Atkins a long time ago, I was doing an unhealthy version of Atkins because I wasn't watching my balances in all the different micros that you need to be able to do it to accurately do Atkins and maintain a healthy diet for a long term.
Yep.
Now, I didn't maintain it for a long term, so there was no long term effects. But you get people like my sister and others like her who don't then balance out the all veg with no source of protein, no valuable source of protein to balance out the equation in the dietary needs. Okay.
Yeah.
And that creates an imbalance and an unhealthy lifestyle.
Yes.
And it shows because she looks like skin and bones. And people ask her, what is wrong with you? And the answer is, it's an unhealthy lifestyle. As much as she thinks it's healthy, it is unhealthy.
Yes. Although we're not exactly...
we are the pictures of health. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I could hibernate for the next 6 months and be just fine.
I wish we could.
Yeah, if there was a way that I could just sleep it off, I would. But
That'd be wonderful. Yeah, we're talking before the show, Mike. Over the weekend, I signed up for the local Y. I'm going to do water aerobics.
Okay.
That's my new thing.
Yeah,
back in August, I think I may have told you that they opened a gym. They're opening a gym right around the corner from us, and I signed Kim and I up with Planet Fitness, right? Mm-hmm. It's still not open.
Well,
I'm going to be open until mid-December now.
Well, I've had an issue with my feet, honestly, it's been painful to walk. And walking is my primary source of exercise. And so when it's painful to walk, you don't feel like hopping on a treadmill. You know, the phrase "sitting is the new smoking." Has everyone heard that phrase?
Yeah, my doctor would say that's crap.
Yeah, but to some degree, in our field, we have an unhealthy daily routine where we do sit for way too long and don't get up and move.
Yeah.
And so I used to try and balance that out with 30 minutes on the treadmill, at least 3 or 4 times a week. Well, when I stopped doing that for a while and then I tried to get active again, I ended up injuring myself. So now I'm hopefully next week going to be signed off on that I can get back into a slow routine, of back to walking again. Because for me, that just seems to work. I can walk on the treadmill for a half hour, watch an episode of Night Court, and be happy with myself. You know, that's just what works for me. And I think any doctor in the world will tell you whatever exercise routine works for you and fits into your lifestyle is the best routine for you.
Well, yeah.
At least to get started, because it's better than nothing, right?
As long as it actually is active, you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting here clenching and unclenching my muscles. That no.
Yeah.
Got to actually do something.
No, you got the little electric thing.
Yeah,
the electric belt thing that just automatically shocks your muscles tight and then lets them loose again.
Yeah.
That's probably not the best thing.
No, that's not going to do anything.
No, but I did meet a guy yesterday, who was awesome because he had back injury, and so they actually put like some electric subdermal electric stuff in him, and so he had to charge his back. And so it was like a QI. So he had to have this like this fanny pack on, but it was like around his stomach, and he was basically QI charging his body.
Chi.
Yeah, chi charging, whatever. His body. So he had it attached mid back, and then it wirelessly charged through his skin into his battery pack, which was embedded in his back, and it was awesome.
I know people that have those. This is not obviously embedded into my back, but it's the portable TENS device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I know people that have had back problems that have tried to get permanent implants like that. And unfortunately, the 2 people I know that got them, they did nothing for them. So.
This guy said he couldn't walk from his bed to his bathroom before, and now he's like walking from his backyard to his front yard. It's really improved his quality of life. So it's worked for him. He said he had 4 back surgeries and they all failed. So this was the last straw, really, to make him mobile again. Otherwise, he was going to end up in a wheelchair. So
yeah, I've what's helped me immensely is I got a CPAP, and I got an adjustable bed, and I got myself to sleep on my side instead of my stomach. And that has been so much better.
I don't know how you did that. I have been told for years I need to do that. I don't know how I can do that.
Like I said, it was 2 parts. One was getting the CPAP. The second was the adjustable bed. Because I have the head of the bed up, it's been extremely painful to sleep on my stomach because I would be bending the wrong way.
Welcome to old man chat.
Get the fuck on!
My knees hurt.
Funny part is you guys are the young ones.
Yeah, I know. I told my wife
I'm just sitting back here like
I'm older than she is.
Well, you're the sports one.
Yeah, you stayed active.
Yeah, I did.
You know, we drank gallons of soda, and I still do.
Yeah, I stopped that.
Yeah,
I drink lots of hot tea.
I wish I would have, but I didn't. So I had a question that I didn't have time to post on our Facebook page, but it's one that I will be posting, and so we'll introduce it here, and then we'll see what the audience thinks. Now, Mike, this is mainly for you and I because we have significant others. Colin, I am interested in your input in this, though. Okay?
Yes, I'll see how this relates to my cat.
Okay, so if your significant other came to you and said, "Hey, I want to go on a vacation," what would your reaction be, and what would your response be?
My first response would be, "The hell's a naycation?"
Okay. So a naycation is evidently.
Wait. Let me just stop you. Because it can either be nay or naked.
Mm-hmm.
And we got too many damn animals to be doing a nay, and too many damn windows to be doing a naycation if it's nakedness.
It's not in combination with a staycation. Usually it involves going somewhere.
So you're going to a nudist colony.
So the latest craze, and I'm not making this up. This is according to Yahoo News. The latest craze hitting particularly our age range, the 35 to 50 and actually older, all right, is the naycation. Going to a clothing optional vacation getaway. So whether that's a resort, whether that's a cruise, there's even evidently clothing optional flights, which should make getting through security very easy. All right. But there are these places. I mean, most people are probably familiar with the resorts, hedonism and, whatnot, but the cruises are definitely a thing, that I've heard about. And so I would be curious, Mike, what would be your response if Mrs. 8-Man came and said, Hey, Mike, let's go on a naycation cruise. Someplace warm. I'll preface it with that.
Am I being punked?
No.
Is that why Mrs. 8-Man was singing that song earlier?
Maybe. Why is the rum gun? I definitely no. I would ask her. What am I? Am I being punked? What the hell's going on here?
So no for naycation for Mike.
No, the naycation is a nay.
Okay. Now, would you ever consider asking her to put it on the flip side? Would it ever enter your mind into thinking, hey, I guess obviously it's nothing that you're interested in then, right?
There's no right answer to that question of me asking her. There's absolutely no right answer.
So you have never entertained the idea of frolicking around a beach, butt naked.
I will reiterate and I will repeat my statement. There is no correct answer to that question.
Okay, so Colin, I'll ask you before I give my answer. Okay,
I wear a shirt in a swimming pool.
Never a truer answer.
He pretty much just went, well, let me stop you right there. Don't even get the words out of your mouth, okay?
I love it. I would, what? I don't know if your mom would be cool answering that question, but that's why I want to put it on Facebook, because I really am curious if she'll answer and what her answer would be.
She wears a shirt when we swim. My dad wears a shirt when we swim.
I'd be curious to find out what the Blair family thinks of naycations. All right. But I guess maybe I'm a little bit more open-minded than you guys, or a little bit more secure with my flubbiness. All right. I too wear a shirt when I'm on, but if everybody else is, as rotund as I am, which I'm thinking according to what I'm reading here, it is more along the lines of my body type than the Adonis body type for most of these things. All right. Then I don't have a problem with it. I don't have an issue with being butt naked. All right. Now, it doesn't happen in this house. All right. It doesn't happen, it rarely happens, if ever. Colin has never once come for the show and I had to run and put clothes on. All right. There's no robes kept by the front door. There's nothing like that. All right. But, I will say the last time we went on vacation in Tennessee, there was like, hey, there's nobody around. There's a hot tub on the back deck. Why bother with swimming trunks?
Well, yeah, if you're talking just the two of you, then
Okay, but
whatever.
But if you're with
different.
that like-minded set of people who are all of the same mindset, then I don't necessarily see. And I'm not putting a sexual thing into it either.
No,
I'm not saying there's going to break out and be a huge orgy on the beach because that gets sand places you don't want it.
In fact, we'll say if anyone is interested in this subject
Mm-hmm.
and wants more comedic thinking about this subject, may I recommend a very good episode of Golden Girls.
I will have to find the episode.
I know which episode you're talking about.
And you can watch an entire episode discussing this topic.
Valentine's Day at a nude resort. Okay, so I will have to watch that episode.
Oh, it's because it's the first thing I thought of when you brought up this topic.
So, but I'm just curious. Now, I know right away, if I brought it up, my wife would shut the conversation down. There's not a question in my mind. It would be shut down going, what the hell are you thinking of? All right, it would be a solid no. So therefore, and if my wife brought it up to me and said, hey, honey, I'm thinking about this, I would straight lose my mind because I would say, what have you done with my wife? Because you are an imposter. Some alien has abducted her and put a body double in her place, and I think I want the real one back, but I'm not sure yet. Let's ask me a few more questions. All right, but that is where that is how foreign that question would be if it came out of her mouth.
Yeah. That there next to me is sitting a man very confident in the fact that his wife is never going to watch this.
So but I mean that's the raw and honest truth of the deal, and she would back me up and say the same thing. That she would expect me to come up with that crazy idea, and then she would shoot it down, much like the Red Baron. But I was just curious, and I'm curious of all the listeners, if you have an opinion on that, chime in on Twitter or on the Facebook post here, and we will read your comments. Like I said, I'll put a post out because I'm very curious to see what other people think about this. Am I the only person who shares this, opinion?
No, because there's a bunch of people doing it.
There's a huge market for it, so I can't be possibly the only one. But I would be curious if I'm the only one in our listening audience. I bet there's at least one other listener who's the same as me.
At least one. That's okay. Great odds.
So let's see here. What else we got?
Now I got that damn Golden Girls theme song stuck in my head.
Thank you for being a friend.
I kind of feel like we should talk about this article that Mama Blair sent over, but I don't know if she's listening, so I don't know if we should hold off on that.
Oh no, just go ahead.
All right. So Mama Blair sent over an article that talks about Japan. Oh wait, I got that open already. Japan's approved experiments that would allow for animal-human hybrids to be born.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing I love about Business Insider with their articles is they give you bullet points at the very beginning. And the last bullet point is perfectly awesome when it comes to this. Experts have raised ethical concerns about the research. Some say they are disturbed by the possibility that the human cells could affect an animal's brain. Let's digest this for a second. We are movie freaks, all of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have movie and TV freaks. We have seen Zoo. We have seen Planet of the Apes, all three of them. We have, to some extent, we have seen Small Soldiers because those little alien dudes, even though they were robotic, but still. Manimal. We all remember that TV show.
Yep.
Thundercats, based off of this idea. There's nothing good comes from any of this.
No, and in fact, I have a clip of what the best thing that can come from this is. Here, hold on.
Pigman.
You're totally hot.
Ouch! Oh!
Oh, it's not that.
Man Bear Pig, he's here!
Yes, Man Bear Pig.
He's here.
Sorry, I thought it was the TV show. Turns out it's the game.
Yes.
Or Puppy Monkey Baby. Puppy Monkey Baby. Puppy Monkey Baby.
Oh, and Mama Blair did respond back to your question.
Okay.
My significant other would decide I would need a staycation at the Funny Farm instead.
Okay. So there we go. But yep.
Baby. Puppy Monkey Baby. Puppy Monkey Baby.
So there you go, Mike.
Everybody thought I was crazy saying that I wanted a Puppy Monkey Baby after that.
So
You have to move to Japan.
mm-hmm.
They were like, that's creepy as hell. I said, it's no creepier than, what was it? Midget Steven Tyler or some crap that was aired the same year.
Yeah, so we have lots of examples of this gone wrong. Man, Bear, Pig, Puppy, Monkey, Baby. I'm at a loss for any more. But not a good thing. I don't know that animal-human hybrids. You know what this is? This is the furries wanting to go one step further.
Oof.
That's what this is.
You went there.
Can you think of anything else, Mike? You know Japanese culture.
Well, okay.
They
so
have vending machines with naughty things in them. So, of course, they're going to embrace the furry.
The only other thing that I thought are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only other, Killer Shark from Legends of Tomorrow? Or Gorilla Grodd?
Here's the thing. You know how Disney's turning all of their animations into real-life shows?
Oh, hell. No, you didn't go there.
Japan wants to do the same thing?
You did not go there. Oh. So, the only thing that part of me thought that they were doing this so that it would be a better source for organs, for organ transplants.
But who's going to killing a puppy monkey baby for its kidneys?
Well, okay. For the time being, if they're going this far, they could raise it to be without a brain.
I don't know.
But then the right to lifers, here's a question for you, right to life people. And I'm not saying this be on either side, but I'm basically in a very nonpartisan political place right now where I'm attacking the hell out of local Democrats and Republicans on town pages because they all can just go, kiss my chocolate-covered starfish. I believe... Took you a second, didn't it? If a creature is born brain dead, or if a creature never had brain function, is it really an abortion?
Well, then you come into a religious debate. Just because you're brain dead, do you not have a soul?
Then you have that, what was her name? The girl who was basically brain dead that the family was fighting over.
Oh, and Congress had to come in on Easter and decide whether they should force feed her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wow.
You know?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
There's too many questions.
It's 80 situation where you have two different sides fighting, but both of them are fighting over completely different things. They're not actually fighting over the thing that they say they're fighting over. It's impossible.
Yeah. Well, and they're so diametrically opposed. You're never going to get a productive conversation.
Right.
All right. Wow. It's never going to happen. It's like the anti-gun people and the gun people. You are never going to get them to agree on a compromise.
But at least they agree. At least they disagree on the gun itself.
Well, no, they don't disagree on the gun. They disagree. The anti-gun people will say, "Well, it's the guns that cause the problem." The gun people will say, "No, it's the people that cause the problem." So they can't even agree on what the actual problem is.
No, the gun people like guns. The anti-gun people don't like guns. Everything else is window dressing.
Well, maybe. So, but Mike, I'm in a similar thing to you, right? For these neighborhood pages, and I almost did it the other day, but I happened to be carrying my wife's phone. I had my wife's phone, and so I thought, no, she doesn't enjoy it when I start these wars, and so I shouldn't do it under her profile because that would be really mean. But it was the argument of let's reschedule Halloween because it's too cold.
Oh, yeah.
And so I really wanted to jump in and say, wait, Why stop there? Thanksgiving and Christmas are even colder. Let's move all of them to August.
They didn't want to reschedule Halloween around here because of cold. It was supposed to be a torrential downpour.
Right.
To which I said, so what?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody posted up pictures of kids under those dollar store dome umbrellas and attached streamers to them. Guess what? They were jellyfish.
Yeah.
That's a great costume.
Improvise and overcome.
I literally posted a comment. Do I get a say even though I don't have kids?
Yeah.
Well, you handed out candy.
Well, no, I was handing out veggie chips. And after the third or fourth kid, a lot of them the kids literally just started walking past the house. I'm standing out there. I come to realize it's because they were freaked out by my Weeping Angel sweatshirt costume. Because once I took that off and then kids started coming back. But yeah, this aggravates me here. Like, and of course, people, God forbid, I bring up the point that you just had like 4 trunk or treats last weekend.
Yeah.
So if you didn't go to those, knowing full well it was going to rain, why is it my problem? At which point I said, you know what? I'm going to put a sign across my sidewalk. If this gets moved to Saturday, putting a sign across my sidewalk says, in lieu of candy, we have made a donation in your name to the local animal shelter. Thank you for caring for the animals.
No, I think you should have wrote, we have purchased a star in your honor.
Yeah, we have a Mama Blair comment, reschedule Thanksgiving because Thursday is inconvenient.
Yeah. Yeah, it really gets in the way.
Yeah.
Screws up a perfectly good week.
This year, the whole big thing was because Thanksgiving is so late.
Oh, yeah.
That you lost like a week of shopping. And I'm like, who cares about a week of shopping? That just means that the deals are going to come sooner.
Yeah.
If you were shopping for so many people for Christmas that the loss of a week is screwing you up, you got too many people in your circle.
You're not doing it right and ordering everything from home.
Yeah. The correct answer for all these people is, why don't you move to Australia?
Because there's spiders and dingoes.
Yes, but, Halloween would be in the spring.
And the toilet's flushed around.
And Christmas would be in the summer.
Yeah, but they have Paul Hogan.
Is he still alive?
I believe so. I think he's a talk show host there. If I remember right. I think he had a talk show. But
let's see, what's he doing? Yeah, he's still alive.
Look at him go.
He certainly don't look like he used to. Holy hell.
He doesn't look alive? I thought that's what you were going to say. So.
He's 80 years old now.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing now, but in 2007 he was investigated for tax fraud. Wonderful.
No way.
Yep. 2013. Something about putting money in an offshore account for tax avoidance. Oh dear Lord, he was hanging out a little bit with Wesley Snipes, it seems.
Probably had the same tax lawyer. So
slightly different tax lawyer, but it is Australia and United States are the same country separated by an accent.
Yep. True. So,
are you saying that the Outback Steakhouse is nothing more than an embassy?
No, I'm saying the Outback Steakhouse has absolutely nothing to do with Australia.
Okay. Just checking.
Hey, Outback Steakhouse, it would have been good if anyone who created that place had ever actually been to Australia. But they weren't.
Now, Mike, before we get to our movie reviews, let's talk about a idea you had for creating new engagement rings.
Oh, this was not an idea I had. In fact, this was an example of what not to do. Some dude in England saved his fingernail clippings for a year. Somehow had them turned into a fake diamond for an engagement ring for his wife or his I'm going to assume, to-be wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have seen these things online where you can take your pet's ashes and have them turned into a gem or infused into a gemstone. Not a diamond, but a gemstone.
Mm-hmm.
And note they put diamond in quotes there because it's not a real diamond.
No, it is a real diamond.
It's
just,
laboratory created.
Yeah, it's the only company that cares about calling it a real diamond is De Beers, and screw them.
Well, yeah.
There is no difference.
So immediately, this is how my mind works lately. I thought of other significant uses for nail clippings, and honestly, I wonder, was this the plan in that episode of Space Above and Beyond where they took the alien ship and everybody clipped their nails before they went and put them all into the same matchbox? Was that the plan? Was to create a diamond with it?
I don't remember that. Sounds like an episode. I've been planning a marathon rewatching that show soon.
I don't know, but you look at what he created, and what he created is this black thing that doesn't look like a diamond because it's not shiny. All right, he put a polish on it, but it's not shiny at all. He says the good thing is it doesn't look anything like fingernails, but that's because it's burned because he put it into an oven for 90 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't actually read this one. Yeah, this is wow, that's stupid.
So he ground them up, compressed the nail powder and water mixture, and put it into an oven for 90 minutes. And what came out can only be described as a lump of dark clay.
Yeah,
he put it into a diamond-shaped mold before inserting it into a silver ring.
Now I am officially WTF on this one.
I mean, the companies that do this, they use giant industrial equipment which squeezes carbon until it turns into diamond. Not
I don't know why they could
put it
just
in a
use
microwave.
They could just use their ovens.
So he made a ring for his fiancée to be out of burnt fingernail clippings
And water. Mm-hmm. And ruined a blender and a perfectly good oven in the process.
Oh yeah, just imagine that. Sitting there to eat dinner and a nice soup and what have you, and then he proposes and gives his ring. Oh, this is beautiful. How'd you make it? Well, I saved my nail clippings for a year and put them in the blender. The same blender you made the soup in?
Yeah.
So when he was finished with that, did he then return to working on his perpetual motion machine? And his free energy device?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not
what I want to know
the
is,
way I would do it.
Will it cut glass?
No, it's calcium.
No, it's charcoal.
Well, no, I mean, it started as calcium, right? Because that's what your fingernails are.
No.
Calcium or collagen? I can't remember.
Keratin.
Collagen. Keratin.
Keratin. Okay, so
It's mostly protein.
we're going to go to the web. Fingernails grow from the matrix. Nails are composed largely of keratin, a hardened protein.
Okay.
So
What in the hell is that picture next to this woman's got a horn? She's got a horn.
You probably have different pictures than we have, so.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sending you. This is the picture that showed up. Yeah, I'll send you the damn link to this. This is not right.
Oh, yeah. That's a horn.
That's a keratin horn, and a woman's got a keratin horn.
Mm-hmm. She needs to go see Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, well, she needs to see a doctor of some kind, that's for sure.
Which doctor? I'd say.
It's kind of like the...
Looked like her head pooping out.
is that the wizard named Tim in Monty Python and the Holy Grail? They had the ram's horns.
I don't know.
So, it is 7:32.
Yes, it is time, of course, for our fabulous double feature movie review.
Oh,
and
God help us.
this week, we have two great films. All right. And by great, I mean, So, Treasure Guard. So we have both featured on Amazon Prime. We have Treasure Guards from 2011 and Earthstorm from 2006.
Let's get rid of Treasure Guards first.
Treasure Guards. All right. So I will start with this. So I have 30 minutes left of this movie.
Oh.
I tried to finish watching it at lunch and ended up having to work through most of my lunch. But I am to the point where they are just gotten out of the museum and escaped the police.
Okay.
And so that's where I'm at. So far, I can tell you. All right, so this movie steals from the Librarians, heavily from the Librarians, Tomb Raider. Let's see here. It also steals from which you'll notice a theme here. Also steals from the other one that we watched, which was based on all the Grimm fairy tales. It wasn't the Watchers. I can't remember what it was, but Hunters. The Hunters. That one. It's this whole secret society of treasure protectors or treasure seekers, and except for this time, it's the Vatican. So I'm tired of this film, honestly. I'm tired of the worn out plot. I'm tired of the secret societies. This should have been a good movie, but so far it sucks. All right, I'm tired of the younger brother, playboy, con man, guy. No, the only good actor in this whole thing happens to be the treasure guard himself, but I have a feeling he's going to disappoint me because I'm looking for him to evolve and change during the show, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. So, again, this is a made-for-TV movie that is no good. Don't bother watching Treasure Guards. I'm going to give it a verp right now without even seeing the end. It gets a verp.
So, this isn't really a movie. It's episodes 1 and 2 of a not-made TV show. Now, you missed one.
Okay.
Because a very important one.
Okay.
Warehouse 13.
Yes.
So, in Warehouse 13, there is a plot where they have to steal a device from an organization inside the Vatican that holds devices. This show is basically saying, oh, that's a good idea. How about we make a show about that, but not pay anybody in Warehouse 13 who came up with the idea? So not only is it a ripoff of this style of show, it is a ripoff from a part of one of those shows. It is a direct ripoff of that. So you missed the finding out who the bad guy is, who was obvious to anybody who's ever watched anything in their lives. It didn't really make any sense at the end. It was like, oh, you thought it was religion and magic happening, but it wasn't any of those things. It was me, ha ha ha. Says Chortle's the bad guy, and then proceeds to go, and I'll do this thing, and then this obviously magic device does magic stuff, and you're looking at going, okay, if it was going to be magic anyway, then why? Anyway, and then there was and then diamonds fell from the sky. I don't. No, this was not good. Verp sounds good. I wasn't sure where I was going to go with a rating because there just wasn't much to say about this. It wasn't terrible, but because of what it is, just saying mad doesn't seem to be good enough either. So, Verp.
All right, Mike, you're up.
You're doing a Verp too? Okay, well. All right, so right off the bat, opening scene, I can tell you this movie's going to piss me off. Because the fight scene in the beginning almost induced a seizure thanks to the shoddy, jumpy camera work. Does anyone get the vibe that this professor is trying to hit on his young student? Or is it just me? Of course, the guard's brother is the screw-up. This is going to play a factor somehow. I don't know how, but it has to. Close the door! If you go into a vault to examine very, very special artifacts and all, you close the door! So no one can get in and swipe the artifact from you. See that? DTA. Don't trust anybody. What happened? You didn't close the door? Swipe the stuff. And you damn right your own father shot at you. There is a giant diamond mine at stake. Listen, I would knock down a dozen old folks with walkers in my way to get at a couple of damn fresh Cinnabons, let alone what I would do for an entire diamond mine. Now she's pairing up with the priest guard. Of course she is. She's going to have to choose between God and her dad. We get to the point where if they break into the safe, as they break into the safe, I'm sitting here watching this movie saying it's a bad movie off BBC America that some son of a bitch has duped me into watching. There's too many accents and not enough entertainment. The bee infestation, bro, I'm just dead. Okay, I'm dead. And does a fire extinguisher work on bees? This is the kind of thing we need Mythbusters to come back for, because I need to know these things. I know that they're flying business class, and I have never flown business class. But this flight is the absolute smoothest flight any character has ever taken anywhere, including space. So, Shaggy, I know you didn't watch the end, so I don't know what point you've seen stuff or not, but a two-headed snake appears, which is a mutation. It means it's not the same as one-headed version of that snake. It has mutated. How the hell you know it's not poisonous? That damn woman thinks she knows everything. Pissed me. Treasure guards have satellites. They have a whole satellite network. If that's not reason to tax the church, I don't know what is. Suddenly, this movie turns into Sahara, a ship in the desert. There was once water here. Oh, yes. All right. There was once a river here that is a trigger. Yeah. My man doesn't have a gadget to get the ring out of the box of snakes. No. He doesn't. Dude has gadgets for every other damn thing on the planet. He doesn't have a hook or a stick. Or, of course, your crucifix. Yep. At this point, screw up. Matt. That's it. Matt. I'm not. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going down to Vert. Because now that you told me that it was like 2 episodes of a... There's no way in hell that should have ever been a TV show. Screw them. No. Vert.
Oh, I love this. This is... we're back on the same page, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank goodness none of these had Adam Sandler in them. All right.
Earthstorm.
Billy Baldwin, or Stephen Baldwin, the lesser of the Baldwin brothers.
But not quite Billy.
Not quite Billy. All right. Earthstorm. Is this just rip-off week or what? I mean, this is rip-off. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Apollo 13. We're going to take Armageddon. And we're going to take, I don't know, Demolition Man. I couldn't tell you what other thing we're going to take. But we're going to take those, and we're going to put them together. And that's going to be the movie, all right? Because I could tell you everything that was going to happen with this movie as I was watching it. I mean, there was nothing, absolutely nothing, that I couldn't see 20 minutes ahead of time that was going to happen. I mean, it was just, I could have written the script for this if they'd have just said, hey, we liked Armageddon, but we want it to happen to the moon. And I would have been like, okay, are there Nazis on the moon? Because we can make this a better movie if there was Nazis on the moon. And they go, no Nazis on the moon. They moved to Mars. Okay. So, Earthstorm. A comet, asteroid hits the moon. Now, we all know that what happened in this movie ain't going to happen because the moon is made of cheese. Okay? So, unless it was blue cheese, it's not going to crumble like this one did. Okay? But what happens is the moon... Okay, wait a second. They also took a time from Time Traveler or whatever in the hell that one movie was, where they mined the moon and it became unstable. That one was the other one. So anyway, the rock hits the moon. The moon decides, hey, I'm gonna open up like Pac-Man with a big crack in me, and suddenly, the Baldwin brother is the Earth's only hope. The man who blows up buildings because his wife died suddenly is given the key to nuclear weapons because he can use sticks of dynamite, which they don't use in precision demolitions. He can suddenly arm and take apart, and the man disabled nuclear weapons and a spaceship and made an improvised EMP. All right. This movie sucks. All right. I will say it's probably the best acting Stephen Baldwin has ever done. But it is a crap fest movie. If you just want to waste an hour and a half, watch this movie. But you are going to get absolutely no pleasure out of it. All right. Unless you wonder why at the end, because this I couldn't understand. Why at the end is he kissing the scientist lady? All right. I don't get it. There was no romantic interlude between those two other than they both lost somebody. He should be making out with the girl who says she's a father figure to her because they're the ones that actually have like the chemistry in it. I don't get this. And the scientist lady should be making out with what's his name. And by the way, it was awfully nice to see Face show up in a movie again. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wish he'd have made more cameos because I really miss him. But anyway, this movie gets a meh. And you wonder why I don't rank it lower? It's because I watched it first. All right? So my expectations were low, and it met low expectations barely.
Which one?
All right, Colin.
Okay, because I got tons to talk about. First off, let me start at the end. Uh-huh. So, guy who blows up buildings and scientist lady get together. Uh-huh. Now, my mom actually called that before because of the scene where they both lost stuff and it was all tender. Mm-hmm. The music said, oh, they're going to get together later. But that's not the part of that scene that's like, so the woman who looks up to him as a father figure hooks up with science guy who looks like he's from Perfect Strangers and hasn't been in the movie since the first scene and has never met woman who looks up to guy as father figure at any time in the movie.
And is obviously infatuated with Science Lady.
Yes. They just go off together. And it's just like, and not just they're going off together, but they were going off to have sex. That was explicitly said. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, back to the beginning. So, movie starts with most incompetent house blowing up people in the world whose computer systems crash and won't stop blowing up the building. Now, I know that Shaggy and I are IT professionals, and maybe other people aren't aware of this, but if a computer wired into explosives refuses to listen to you when you tell it to not blow up explosives, you turn off the computer. You don't ineffectually type on the keyboard for 5 hours trying to make it not blow up stuff. You turn it off. You unplug the explosives. And then you turn it back on again and see if you can tell it what to do. Most importantly, nobody ever plugs explosives directly into a PC or a Mac or an iPad. It doesn't matter what it is. Nobody's going to do that.
Definitely not a Mac.
Okay. Now we get into the main plot. So main plot, you have Science Lady and Science Guy, who's the leader of the fake NASA. And then you have other Science Guy who's Face from A-Team. Okay. Moon is hit by a large object and has a big hole in it. Science Lady insists, because her father said so, that means that the moon is going to fall apart, destabilize its orbit, and destroy the Earth. Science guy from who's played by Face. So I'll just call him Face for now. Okay, so Face says, no, that doesn't make any sense because the moon has gravity and will just, pull itself back together because that's what gravity does. And everybody gets mad at him. You are supposed to dislike this guy who has just pointed out the bleeding obvious of science. No, this man is a jerk and a moron. You should be listening to these crazy people instead. And the movie decides to go with crazy people. Because, sorry, the science guy was wrong. He was using real physics as his argument and didn't realize that he was in a movie with crazy non-physics. Because they didn't take the space shuttle with nuclear rockets to the moon. Now, in this world, the atmosphere continues beyond the Earth. So there's universal atmosphere everywhere. There's universal gravity. So gravity is everywhere. It isn't just being pulled down to Earth. It's just wherever you happen to be, there's gravity. So that means that, the space shuttle is banking around like a fighter jet the entire movie. And, it only shoots rockets from the back, even if it's like landing. Big rocket from the back, land straight down. Yeah, sure. So that's why I said I am happy to know that this movie exists. I never knew that there was a movie where the bad guy in the movie was actually the one making total sense. Everybody else in the movie was wacko. I'd never seen this before. And so this is an example I will have in my tool belt from now on to explain things in other movies. That's the only reason this movie gets a meh instead of something much, much worse. Because the perverseness of its physics was fascinating to me.
Okay, Mike, go ahead, and then I have a follow-up.
All right. I haven't seen a good Stephen Baldwin movie since. I'll get back to you on that one. I am ready. I had the stopwatch open at this point to make sure that Dirk Benedict wasn't going to pull a Warwick Davis and Ashen's bullshit showing up for 30 seconds of a hour and a half movie. So the geeky scientist guy, I'm shocked that maybe this is just how my brain works, but right away I was like, dude, you're the dude that blew himself or got himself shot to blow up stuff in Iron Eagle 2. And sure as shit, he was. Somehow, and I went to IMDb to make sure of it, and it turns out he was in Iron Eagle 4 also, playing a different character that he played in Iron Eagle 2 because obviously he died in Iron Eagle 2. He was pulling the captain from Starship Troopers. I digress. Sorry. Now we've gone off the rails and we've taken the Armageddon route. We need the civilian guy because we don't have anybody in the military that's capable of doing this. Why is her goddamn hard hat on backwards? We really don't know what the moon is made of. It's obvious. Shaggy told you it's cheese. Made of cheese. Knew that from fairy tales. Told nursery rhymes. Sure. Just have the Air Force bring nuclear devices into a civilian building in wooden crates on a dolly. Sign here, sir. Dirk's been in the movie for more than 10 minutes. I'm not wasting my time keeping tabs anymore. Now they pull from the Apollo 13. We have to build a device that's going to save the day with only this box of items. Also was a plot on how Wolowitz was going to fix the toilet on the International Space Station in an episode of Big Bang Theory. By the way, I'm still not sure about a good Stephen Baldwin movie. Closest I can come is Biodome. Wasn't necessarily good, but it was entertaining. I thought for sure, and Colin, maybe you did point this out, maybe I missed it. I thought for sure that someone was going to point out that wouldn't the change in the moon's mass have a bigger effect on the Earth somehow? Like, I don't know, the tides?
They actually did say that.
Yeah.
Okay. How in the hell did the shuttle escape the magnetic pull of this giant EMP thing that's bringing all the pieces of the moon back in without their nuclear drive? Isn't the shuttle metal? Or at least it's got metal. It's got to have metal parts.
It's mostly aluminum.
What if Stephen Baldwin had a knee replacement? What if his character, had shrapnel from a job that went bad? All of a sudden, out the hole in the space shuttle. You don't know. And that didn't even bother me that he hooked up with the chick at the end because he's a Baldwin. What I've come to expect from them is hooking up with chicks that they probably shouldn't be hooking up with. I'm gonna give it a meh. I mean, it was a made-for-TV movie. I didn't have much to expect. The only thing I wasn't sure about was, did the asylum have anything to do with this?
So here's a couple other things that I noticed that I forgot about. All right, just because they suddenly sucked the moon back together again.
Yep.
It didn't move.
Okay, here's the problem with this, Shaggy.
All right, and so why did the weather stop all of a sudden?
No, they said that the moon was correcting itself back to its original orbit.
Yes,
I
couldn't remember them saying that.
It done rained tons of weight down on the Earth.
Yeah, that still has no effect on it. None of this had any effect in real physics.
Yeah, it wasn't going to stop what was already happening. The weather's not like that. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I did forget the obvious. Okay, if you are trying to get away from the moon so that you can set the rocket, the bomb off, maybe you should go up.
Well,
instead of sideways.
Not only that, but okay. So they took the nuclear pulse engine doohickeys, right, to get there.
Yeah.
All right. And now they don't have them no more.
Right.
And one would think that the gravity that pulled the Earth back together might slow their return trip down a little bit. All right. Might have cost them a little bit of oomph as they were leaving the moon.
No,
in
it
such a
wasn't
hurry.
gravity. It was
magnetism.
Right, but
it was a mag.
But it was re-energizing it was supposed to be jump starting the whole thing was it was supposed to give a jump start to the gravity that was lost. It was supposed to boost the gravity that was already there. That's what it was supposed to do. It wasn't just creating a giant magnet. It was like supposed to be. So the question is, all right. So they planned for it to take them like less than a day to get there. It takes like 4 days to get back. Do you think they packed provisions for that long? I mean, how much air they really put in that thing?
Air's not a problem in a space shuttle. It recycles.
You still need fresh air.
It's all that matters is your CO2.
I saw Apollo 13.
Exactly. It's the CO2 scrubbers. That's all that matters. But a space shuttle regularly would be fully pressurized.
The submarines stay underneath the water for months at a time.
Okay. Well, anyway, they ain't got enough food or water. They weren't planning on packing a lunch.
They weren't planning on coming back.
Not only that, but all this that she's doing, right? to move away from all these, drastic measures, right?
Down, left, right, left, right.
I mean, she's doing Contra, right? All right. So
the throttles from a 747.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Right. So she's doing all that. They still have a finite amount of thruster, capacity.
How do you know what it was being used for?
Those are maneuvering thrusters because he done said increase thruster, port thruster 30% and 20% and take off in a hurricane. And
all they have to do is bring in see this thing. Okay, you were asking where was their air coming from? Answer is they were in atmosphere. They just pulled it from the outside.
So, but like all this stuff, well, she gonna run out of all this. All right, a maneuvering thruster juice.
I would say you're so far beyond the realm of actual science.
And she ain't gonna.
I have no.
There is a finite amount of maneuvering thrusters. We know this from Elon Musk.
Yeah, in real physics. This is a world that has the atmosphere going all the way up to the moon because they were in hypersonic flight. The only way you could have sonic flight is if you're in the atmosphere. The only way that your ship is banking to get away from rocks is that you're in atmosphere. There is no part of this movie that anybody who has been through kindergarten science.
I agree. Plus, they never saw the Nazi base.
Now, yes, but I forgot my absolute favorite line in the entire movie.
Okay.
They're talking about the Meg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this ability to take an atomic bomb and make it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And the crazy science guy is like, don't you understand what this is going to take? It requires liquid helium and uranium. Those are so dangerous. I'm like, liquid helium? That's a noble gas. It reacts with nothing. It is the as far as liquid gases that you may handle, you use that one to like fill balloons and then breathe it and make squeaky voice sounds. And uranium? I mean, it's not plutonium.
Well, not only that, but like you saw the cargo bay, right?
Yes.
They were able to walk around the nukes, okay,
Yes.
without any problem. And they had this huge empty bay, that they could cram stuff into.
Yeah,
Okay.
the special bay designed into the atomic engines designed specifically for the bomb to be stuffed into.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that one. Yeah. Could they not have packed both options? I mean, just
But
thinking.
But Face wasn't going to let them.
Couldn't somebody have snuck it on board?
Yeah, that's I thought. I mean, all they really needed was the liquid helium.
I mean, they already said that there was uranium in the core of the moon. Well,
I don't know. I mean, the way that they were saying, all they really needed for the mag was 2 cheeseburgers
in paradise. No, I was kind of expecting them to say, "Well, good thing I brought the mag."
I mean, it's kind of like the end of the core, right? All right?
Yeah.
The
The
core.
last bomb.
It isn't enough.
The core, as bad as it was more scientifically accurate than this was.
I know, but, like, take more than what you need.
Yeah.
You can always bring it back.
Now, I was looking, by the way, after I watched this, there was a thing there saying, if you liked this, you may also want to watch.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
How many had we already watched?
Well, there's another one from the same year called Dark Storm.
Okay. It's a Stephen Baldwin one, too.
Stephen Baldwin had 2 Storm movies in the same year.
On a secret military base, a group of scientists have made a discovery unequaled since the invention of the A-bomb, codenamed
Eruptor.
Eruptor. It's a device that supercharges dark matter and uses it to charge the molecular structure of its target, thereby eradicating it. But when the Eruptor malfunctions and the leading scientist is blasted with the dark matter, he receives incredible abilities that allow him to control weather, and the same device now threatens the world. Stephen Baldwin is a superhero.
Yes. So I said, okay, well, we at least need to put this on the list.
Okay, we can put it on. We can put it on the list. I had a suggestion by a family member for a movie that we should watch.
Okay.
Women's Prison Massacre.
Nope.
What?
I heard those 3 words. Nope.
Oh, you didn't get the other part. Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of.
So this is supposed to be. I don't know if this is the right one or not.
No. But when you were typing it in, there was the other one that had sharks in it as well.
No, it's not the Sharknado one.
No, there's like a Shark Kansas women's. That was just weird. It's like throw a bunch
I
of
don't
words
know
into
this
a pot.
one is the right one either. I'll have to
Shark
look it up.
Kansas Women's Prison Massacre?
No,
Yes.
that's not it.
That's not the one we're talking about, but I saw it.
It should be.
No, so I got asked to try and find links to horror movies for a family member, and I got told that I guess it is the right one. That Women's Prison Massacre was not what was expected when she watched it. Emmanuel, a reporter, comes just a little too close to exposing a corrupt official and is sent to prison on trumped-up charges. In the prison, the inmates are constantly humiliated and tortured by the prison staff. Overly affectionate prisoners are forced underwater, while others are obligated to look on. Emmanuel finds an enemy in the deranged Albini, who runs the prison. For the pleasure of the warden, Emmanuel and Albini are forced to fight each other with knives. Bad becomes worse when 4 men awaiting execution escape and take over the prison. Gore flows like water, is what they say. Now, what I was told was, in a brief message, this
is like a Skinamax type movie, isn't it?
She said, it is not a horror movie. It's more like a horror movie.
Yeah.
So I'm kidding. We won't watch it, but I just thought it was funny. that it's
Funny is fine, yes.
that I download.
I'm watching the trailer because I actually think I may have seen this movie.
Okay, let's get the random stuff going.
So, yes.
Yeah, let's just do that.
So what are we to, Mike? 31 still?
No, 28.
28. Well, yeah, we need to add a few more. 12.
Yes. Dear Lord, do not tease me. Awesome. This is on Amazon. It's a movie called Chef.
So it is.
I am going to.
Oh, it's John Favreau.
Full disclosure. I have seen this movie. Full disclosure. Mm-hmm. This movie very much will probably be disqualified when we watch it for being a real movie.
Well, we do. We like real movies too.
After these last two, I feel we deserve to be treated to this.
No, I'm okay with this.
Okay. Add that to my watch list. All right. Next. 22.
I've only disqualified one movie just because I couldn't bring myself to give it a review.
This is still available. I don't know if... Nope! Disqualified subtitles, sorry. This is called The Stronghold. It's a Ukrainian film with English subtitles. It says it right in the damn description. Thank you. Good day.
When the head of the NASA thing in that movie showed up and started talking, I was like, is this a foreign film? Because his voice sounds like he does dubbing.
13.
Maybe double check. It's like, he must dub a lot of these movies we watch.
Okay, I'm going to allow this, even though you put this on the movie twice.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Is it not available?
Hold on. Let me see if it's... It is not available anymore. It's called Who Gets the Dog?
Oh,
and it's not available on Amazon or Netflix.
Number 1.
We are really... Oh.
I kind of like it when Mike goes, oh, crap.
That one's been on the list a long time.
Well, okay. This is very odd.
Okay.
We may have to watch this one. It's Bait Shop on Amazon.
All right. Okay.
Bill Engvall, Billy Ray Cyrus. It's saying
you poo-pooed my my Larry the Cable Guy movie.
Well, hold on a second. I'm kind. This one we got a problem.
Okay.
Because technically this is not included with Prime.
Okay.
However, right now it's showing that you can rent the movie for free.
Watch free on IMDb TV at the very least.
Yeah, I'm not doing IMDb TV.
So I don't know if we want to.
Let me see here. Hold on. May just have to find a different link. You know how they are sometimes.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, we can say we're going to do this, and by the next show, it's fine. You just once you watch it, you gotta finish it. That's
So according to this, it's no longer on Prime Video. It used to be,
but it is included with your IMTV subscription.
Yeah, so you have to have IMDb TV to watch it.
Okay. All right. So the answer is no. We're out.
Oh, watch now free with ads. So, but we don't like ads. Ads are dumb.
No.
All right. So let's pick another one. It'll be back on 11.
Yeah, we just screwed ourselves. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Amazon, Dudes and Dragons. Luke Perry's in this.
Oh!
And James Barsters. Okay.
And Caitlin Doubleday.
When a powerful wizard, James Marsters, vows to rid the land of love through the use of his fire-breathing dragon, a brave team of eccentric warriors embark on a grand quest to break the curse, defeat the wizard, and slay his terrible beast. So, yeah.
Okay.
This is actually not hated. Huh. Okay. So those are the two. It's an hour and 53 minutes. It's going to be an investment of some time.
That long takes like 2 hours.
Chef is an hour and 54. But
Ooh.
I can honestly say, Colin, you probably want to see if Kenna wants and watch this one.
Okay.
I think she will like it.
So, all right. So with that said, folks, really, you've been listening to PTR Radio here on the fabulous Interweb, and we want to thank you for tuning in and listening to the show. Don't forget to tell all your friends about PTR Radio. Just tell them to go to ptrradio.com or find us at PTR Radio on any of the social media channels. As always, you can call in and leave a message for us, 217-787-0232. Eventually, we will get that phone working so that you can call in during the live show. Who knows? Maybe by next show, I'll actually have had some time and dedicated myself to getting that working. And who knows? Maybe we'll be doing Twitch next time, too. There's a lot of things that could happen between now and then, and we want you to let us know what's going on in your life. So make sure to drop us a line, show@ptrradio.com, and let us know what's going on. If there's anything you want to hear us do on the show, just tell us what you want to hear, and we're more than happy to listen to you. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast feed. Catch up on all the episodes that you missed from the very beginning. It's 10 years worth of podcasts out there that you can take all the time in the world to listen to on your own. You can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, whatever your player of choice is. So I don't have anything coming up. Thank goodness. My life is getting boring again.
Yay!
So, anybody else got anything coming up anytime soon?
Yeah,
Mike?
I've got the New Beginnings Animal Rescue's Fall Harvest Shenanigans on the 16th from 6 p.m. till 10. Right now, I'm going to be entertaining about 110 people with some trivia, dancing, DJing, prizes, tricky trade, buffet dinner.
That's right. So go out and get your picture taken with Mike. He'll sign autographs or whatever you want. You know, make sure to tag him. You know, PTR Mike. You know, whatever you want to do. And so, folks, with that said, we'll be back in about 2 weeks. So that will bring us to the 18th. So just before Turkey Day, we'll be back on the air. So with that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I'm Mike the 8 Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.